found on page 5 in the supplement. The chamber choir will sing the words.
Stretch my first.
This passage, titled Talking to Strangers, is from an essay by the writer Naomi Shihab. Do talk to strangers. Raise your hand to them in strange places, on back roads where leaning fields of passive grass have more identity than you do. Ask strangers anything you want. Maybe they'll have the answer. Don't go home with them, but talk, talk, talk. Anyways, in this mobile 20th century, who among us is not strange?
But I learned that there's a certain character that can be built from embarrassing yourself endlessly. If you can sit happy with embarrassment, there's not much else that can really get to you. Christian Bale.
In the 2 seconds it took me to walk here, but I just got really nervous. Can I get a round of applause real quick? Good morning. My name is Delando, Clarke, and I'm a 6th foreign boarder from Hartford, Connecticut. I know what it is like to be in a new place, as we all do. And furthermore, I know what it is like to completely ruin opportunities in order to make a good impression. I know that there are many students, teachers, and even seniors here that have been feeling this way in these opening weeks. For a lot of the grandparents, I'm sure that's just today. I decided on this topic because I'm confident that I will be able to deliver this talk better than anyone else ever has, as it pertains to embarrassing myself. So, Here I go. This morning, I want to share with you some of the more brutal yet entertaining experiences that I've had on this very campus. Before I do, I would like to notify you that they are all 100% true. So I hope you're ready. A particularly memorable experience came within just my first few days of being on the Westminster campus. Football preseason had been stressful enough with the new faces and high expectations. I was excited, yet nervous. The coaches were deciding the rosters for varsity and JV. The veterans were looking for new players to help improve the team. And the other players trying out were doing their best to outdo each other, which is the way competition should be. But one fateful practice, we were in Westminster t-shirts and shorts, and the wide receivers were running routes while the defensive backs covered them. For those of you unfamiliar with these terms, the wide receivers run routes and try to catch the ball, while the cornerbacks try to either intercept the ball, break up the pass, or tag the receiver after the catch was made. On this particular rep, I was a receiver. This was and still is my favorite position, so I was feeling good, feeling great even. It must have been a fade route, because I vividly remember beating the defender and watching the ball sail through the air in a tight spiral. It was almost majestic. But as the ball came down, so did my Westminster practice shorts. It was almost like a scene from a movie, and that it couldn't really have gone much worse. Long story short, as I caught the ball, in a desperate attempt to tag me, the defensive back went for a kind of stumbling lunge towards me and decided it would be best that he grabbed my hips and not let go until my shorts were safely around my knees. My immediate reaction was to drop the ball in a quick attempt to put my shorts back up. A once hopeful preseason has suddenly gone south very quickly. The one thing that helped me through all this chaos, was an assortment of kind words from Coach Pringle. Catch the ball, that's 5 push-ups! Sympathy is not exactly a strong suit. I suppose I'm a better receiver for it. I have one more story related to my Westminster sports career. Sophomore year, I was blessed to be a part of the boys JV basketball team. The details are hazy, as I've done my best to suppress these memories, but I'll walk you through it. For some reason, there were a lot more fans than usual in the bleachers, as there always seem to be when you're embarrassing yourself. The team was on a bit of a roll, staying ahead of an agile choke team. We were getting great stops on defense and converting on fast breaks. The spectators were doing a great job of keeping us riled up. On a play that I can only compare to San Antonio Spurs ball movement, we were getting in great passes. I got a pass from the corner of the 3 and turned my head towards the basket. There were no options there, so I spun my head to the top of the key, and feeling a need to keep the ball moving, I passed the ball to a teammate near midcourt. A split second after letting the ball go, I realized that the teammate I had passed to was none other than the referee. 100% true, I promise you. To make matters worse, the ref just let the ball hit him. For lack of a better word, I'll call him round. So, this round ref just lets the perfect by-the-way pass hit him square on the stomach and fall to the ground. The gym went silent. No one spoke and no one reacted, besides a few people who thought it would be helpful to gasp and stare. Turns out, the play does not stop, even in the midst of complete confusion and disarray when the ref gets hit with the ball. The first person to realize this is a player from the opposing team. So, what he decided to do was sprint towards the ball, then down the court, towards the basket, and he proceeded to score. Needless to say, the momentum had shifted. Now, I'll switch gears from sports to to my personal life. My last story is about a girl. It was sophomore year, and we were in the midst of spring formal askings here up on the hill. This particular formal was a guys ask girls event. Messages had come in pizza boxes, colorful sticky notes decorated the windows and armor, and I'd seen enough posters with the old reliable FORMAL question mark written on them. For anyone having a bad moment, that spells formal. So, regrettably, I wanted to do something special to ask the girl I'd hoped to take. Free kick foam it was. You all know the spray foam that soccer referees put down to mark where the ball will be placed and how far the defenders can stand, right? Well, I got 2 cans of that spray foam. The kind soul I am, I chose this spray because I didn't want to ruin the lawn with some sort of permanent spray. I figured the deans would appreciate the thought. The big day had arrived, and family-style dinner was upon us. I made my way over to the grass in front of Gun, and I began to work. One particularly gigantic F was all I got from the majority of the first can. So I was down, but not out. I desperately tried to quickly fit in an O, but the can wouldn't have it. I opened up the next can, and once again, I was disappointed to find that by the time I started the R, it was almost finished. Needless to say, I was in a bind. All the girls were about to be on their way to dinner. She would definitely be one of them, coming to witness this overwhelming L I was taking. But wait, there's more. In a panic, I made a decision that definitely made matters worse. The distance from Gun to Alumni House, which is where I lived sophomore year, is probably about 200 to 300 yards. So what I decided to do was walk I guess I'll explain it as more of a sprint. So I decided to sprint from Gun all the way back to my dorm. So the evening ended with empty spray cans discarded, remnants of my spring formal invitation dissolving, along with just about all of my dignity, and me sprinting away from the crime scene. Hoping no one, but especially her, had witnessed this botched attempt. 20 minutes later, I passed her on the way into dinner and mumbled, "Will you go to formal with me?" And she leaned in and replied, "I was going to say yes, but why did you run away?" No answer to that. On a serious note, I shared these stories with you today, not just to take up a chapel block, but to convey a message. There will be bad times, and they will be embarrassing. If you're lucky, probably not as embarrassing as mine, but perhaps someday you will be retelling your own embarrassing stories in a room full of strangers, your grandmother, and your friends who will never let you live them down. I could be here to tell you to never engage in competitive Westminster sports and to never ask a girl to formal, especially in a creative way. But I'd rather let you know that I would not take back a second of it, because they have helped me become the man I am today. My fourth form year, our football team had one of the winningest seasons in school history. JV basketball not only had a great season, but was also just so much fun. And don't forget, she did say yes. Thank you. And now I will join the chamber choir in performing a song while doing my very best to not further embarrass myself.